Hey, 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 test, test, test. Hey, everybody, we are good to go. Happy to see you guys all back here after what I think has just been an absolutely crazy, crazy week as far as technical analysis goes, right? Before we start looking at the charts, let me just paint this little bit of a story, everybody. First of all, yesterday, we knew that everything was going up against resistance levels, Bitcoin included. We had that kind of puzzling Microsoft earnings where the first announcement was good, but as people learned more information about it, the information got worse and worse and worse. And then, Microsoft had a pretty bad day today, kind of, starting off, right? And so we saw all these markets go start off really, really bad. But by the end of the day, they kind of all came back up to slightly neutral levels. And during that period, we saw Bitcoin also have a really nice bounce. So Bitcoin, in fact, had another breakout over the last few hours. Then, after Bitcoin has a temporary breakout, what happened? We ended up getting smashed back down, and now we're trying to slowly get back up to that level around 24,000 that we were at before. So this has been incredibly strange. So today we're going to be talking about charts. Tesla earnings came out fantastic for Tesla. That was really, really good news. I know Elon's just been getting like shitted upon by the the CNBC crowd, and they didn't know what to say when Elon Musk actually had decent earnings today, which was hilarious because they don't like him over there. After that, Facebook and Instagram are allowing Trump back on the platform, and after that, we have tanks going over to Ukraine. A wild day in the news. So let's just kind of hop on board, everybody. And so Loki's not here right now. Normally he would be, but I put some blankets down. So I actually have a little bit of a Loki cam working at right now. I rewired my computer. So now you guys may have an opportunity to see Loki, maybe, if he kind of comes back downstairs and chills out with this for a little bit. And it looks like this. Basically, I just plopped some blankets down. You'll see him run across in a second. Oh, you saw his butt. So basically, he's over there. I put a little blankets. I'm gonna wash him after the stream, basically. So this is gonna be his little makeshift spa. I don't know what you want to call it, little makeshift bed. Until I'm done with the stream, then I'm gonna go wash the stuff because I needed to sleep tonight. Well, I guess not to sleep tonight, mostly just to put back in the closet here because he pulled one of them down by accident. So I was like, he can have a little bit of fun. So we officially have a little bit of a Loki cam right now. You can see him licking himself basically, but he was sleeping there a few minutes ago before I went upstairs to go get myself some Jamaica for my little water cup here, or whatever little thermos I have right here. So I'll turn Loki off for now. You guys will get a chance to look at him a little bit more over the next few hours. But I officially did. I was like, why not? I have multiple cameras here on my desk, and I only use one because this is a 4K camera. The other camera you guys are seeing Loki with is just your typical HD, maybe 1920, times 1080. So we'll see how all that goes. But okay, guys, let's just kind of talk about Bitcoin. This is your typical daily chart. Let me kind of show this off for very fast, or see me take that other stuff off. And hey, Warlord Zoro, happy to see you again, my man. Hey, Ken, happy to see you. Alex, GT, Max Power, very glad you guys are joining right now. And I am having a very good day, guys. It's been a long day. I did a lot of freaking work today, but I'm really happy about it. I told you guys I'm going out to Vegas next March, and so basically, my friend was like, "Hey, Michael, since you're going to be there at the same time I am, can I just add you to all my reservations for dinner?" And yeah, so I've been looking at like what I want to eat for these next 3 days because I'm just super excited to go to Vegas and hang out with a friend this time instead of just you doing solid work. It's always fun to have friends in Vegas, not just doing conventions and whatnot. Even though conventions can be kind of fun, right? Now, as far as Bitcoin's concerned, guys, we know we've had multiple breakouts over the past few weeks. We have one, two, three, even four here. Well, it could be a four in the next few hours, I guess, or the next couple of days. But at least on the 4 hour chart here, let's kind of zoom in. This was freaking wild today. We ended up having this massive spike here, a relatively massive spike. We got knocked back down hard, but as far as like right now, we're still climbing back up here. So I would say our current level of resistance really just happens to be around this $272,000. I would like to see us close above this range about on the 4 hour chart, everybody. As far as the daily chart is concerned, we don't have to really worry about it too much. We'll keep an eye on it. I just want to stay above the trend line for the most part. In reality, guys, I just really care about this support level right here. That was the low from the lowest day we had, or the first day after the breakout, excuse me. That's around 22,422. As long as we stay above that, I'm kind of in a happy mood. As long as we don't close down below that, I'm in a happy mood, everybody. Now, go over here to the 15-minute chart. You can just see how wild of a ride this breakout was. Breakout, got slammed back down, and we got slammed back down kind of around $23,850-ish. Not even 24,000, but we got close enough to it. Now we're coming back up a little bit here. We are still showing some signs of strength. And there's some decent news out there. The weird thing about all this is something that's been concerning to me, but it's just more weird than I would say like freaking me out or something like that, has been this. The NASDAQ still hasn't broken out, and every day so far since we actually talked about that, how we were getting closer and closer to this breakout opportunity, we keep on finding a way to close lower than the previous day. So as far as the NASDAQ is concerned, Monday we closed at 11,869. Next day 11,848. Next day 11,814. So we're just going down in this very weird way. So maybe if I show it to you guys here on the 15-minute chart, you'll see how we just kind of end up coming back down bit by bit. We had such a strong day today. Like we started off so bad off of the earnings from Microsoft. We managed to bounce. So we have to continue to watch and see how all of this plays out, because still at this moment in time, we are still up against a massive level of resistance. But the fact that we're showing some signs of strength here, despite some really poor earnings, if I'm being honest, from a couple of different sectors out there, it shows that people still want to be in this market even though it's come down so much. People think that, depending on which news organizations you guys watch, like Fox Business, CNBC, and Bloomberg, you see people on both sides saying, hey, the bottom is in, and you also see people say, hey, the bottom is not in, but I still want to be in the market, just in case it isn't. I think that's kind of the battle we're seeing right now, because again, everybody's watching these breakouts as far as the SPY, the NASDAQ, whatever. The Dow Jones broke out a while ago, and you saw how, while it didn't have like the craziest, largest move, it did have somewhat of a decent move, kind of bouncing up a little bit higher. The SPY, close to a breakout as well, but not there just yet. Maybe if we're lucky, some of these daily moving averages will have some type of golden cross to really push us back up. Only big warning here, everybody. Not even so much a warning, is just like, be careful, over here around February 1st and February 2nd, we have Fed minutes, and we will have federal interest rates hiked. I believe this will probably be around 50 basis points. Seems like to be the consensus at this point in time. And we're not entirely sure if that's going to drag the market down or not. The other thing that's going to be huge at the same time, though, is Apple is going to be having earnings. And you guys know that Apple has a massive, massive market cap here. So be careful if Apple has bad earnings, because that will literally just tank the entire market, one company, which is kind of scary to think about. But on the other side of here, Tesla also has a massive market cap, not nearly as large as Apple, but Tesla did have good earnings today. So if we went over here to check it out very fast, maybe, just maybe, we have a decent day. We've talked about these levels of support and what we're kind of looking for as far as Tesla. For me, Tesla needs to come back up a little bit more than, of course, we're going to be, coming back down. It's going faster than my expectations at this point, although I have to say I really didn't put like a time factor in here. It was more of just the general shape of, hey, we're going to go up, eventually kind of go sideways for a little bit, then come back down. I think I drew it on the weekly chart. Yeah, it looks a little bit nicer there. So I'm kind of watching this bit by bit, but so far Tesla, from these support levels we talked about, it is doing fairly okay. And then after, if we do see Tesla break back down because of bad news as far as the economy is concerned, you may have another opportunity to buy it around $89, $90. That'd be kind of crazy if you think about it, because Tesla used to be up here around 418, because of multiple splits and stuff like that. But we may have some more opportunities to buy low. If you guys held Tesla, after hours action was just interesting to watch. Normally what happened with Microsoft, Microsoft started up high, went down low. Tesla started off every which way, big upswing, big downswing. People got freaked out because CNBC was kind of trashing them after earnings. Like, we got to wait for earnings. We got CNBC, not earnings. We got to wait for the call. Mostly I feel like what happened with Microsoft here. But as the earnings call went on, look at that, big boom. So, big point here. We closed right around here. Tesla's about 5% up. That should be a major boost to the NASDAQ tomorrow. And while the NASDAQ may not break out over this news, that is just another good little signal here that, hey, maybe we can have another opportunity to test out the resistance levels here as far as these larger downtrends. Going back to Bitcoin now, that may give Bitcoin an opportunity to continue to pump up higher, at least back up here to that next level of resistance, kind of around that $25,000 level. We could have a really seismic day as far as Bitcoin's concerned today. It really just depends on how the market absorbs that Tesla news coming tomorrow. I hope it's absorbed well, because, again, we talked about this, I think, 2 days ago now, back on Monday. While Bitcoin itself has actually been doing fairly well, you've been seeing other altcoins kind of go more sideways over the past few days, right? Let's look at this 4-hour chart as far as Bitcoin's concerned. I know we have some basic technicals here, just kind of ignore them. Kind of look at these general shapes that we've seen. Let's just go from 12 p.m. What was this? 8 a.m. from January 12th. Let's go over here to Ethereum, right? Ethereum isn't making new highs like Bitcoin is right now, although it is a little bit higher. Usually Bitcoin and Ethereum are pretty similar. Ethereum Classic, more sideways action here. Not falling off of a cliff, but more sideways action. And what's concerning me again, as far as these altcoins are concerned, is more about how we're starting to see the trend slow down on this upward trends and we're kind of going more sideways. Hopefully this is just a period to consolidate for, because again, we do have some decent levels of resistance. We have some levels of support. If you guys want to buy, I guess the buying opportunity was a few hours ago, but you guys may have another buying opportunity here. But if we break it at the other time, boom, that's your opportunity right there. So everything is setting up. You see Dogecoin in a kind of a similar pattern right now. Everything is setting up for a pivotal move, whether it's up or down. Hopefully it's up. You can see Dogecoin did break out a while ago. Those are going to be some great opportunities to get some day trades in here, possibly longer term day trades. I am still not really comfortable doing a lot of swing trading right now, but I can hold a day trade for 10, 12 hours and be very, very happy with the results that we've seen. Dogecoin can be one. You could even probably hold it for a couple days if you want to. Mostly it's just you got to have the alerts to kind of see what's going on. I guess I'm kind of by a computer all the time, but over the past week, I'm literally looking at flights to Vegas, hotel rooms to Vegas, restaurants in Vegas, hotels in Nicaragua, flights to Nicaragua. So I've been planning a whole bunch of trips and stuff over the past few days. But you can see not much is actually going back up. BNB, special case because of how much it fell during the FTX saga. ADA has been coming up. This has been a surprise to me because it has been hit so hard relative to a bunch of other plays. But you can see over here since, again, the 12th, 18th, I think it was somewhere over here, it's actually moved up a little bit more. STMX still moving up a little bit. This is something that I wanted to see move up a little bit higher. It didn't have the big pump I wanted to. I'm still waiting patiently. But Sol, more sideways action here. Matic, more sideways action. I'm waiting and hoping that we can have some solid breakouts here. But if we come back down to these support levels here, you know, I think it's worth taking a nibble unless tomorrow the market just happens to open up and it's like deep, deep red. It looks like we're going down for whatever reason. That might kind of spook me a little bit. But I think I might still pull the trigger based off of what we saw today as far as the SPY is concerned. Just look at this 5-minute chart. We did not start off the day well at all, and we still managed to have a great day in the market. Again, not like parabolic upswings, but we gained a lot of ground after we lost so much after that kind of puzzling Microsoft earnings that we received, I think, back on, back yesterday. What am I talking about? I'm doing too much stuff that I can't even remember everything I do in a day. So keep an eye out for all this type of stuff, everybody. Just look for those easy plays. Dogecoin has an easy play right now. What was the other one we talked about? Ethereum Classic has a breakout opportunity. Ethereum not so much right now, although I think it would move at a good pace. Ethereum is just honoring basic resistance levels, right? Nothing too complicated there. BNB, not too much there as far as what I like, but you never know. These things could really just have a big boost. But usually these things are just like these nice patterns. That's what I want to trade. ADA and some of these other ones have been having some nice spikes. Again, STMX is something I really want to hold on to for now, hoping for another big spike like we had back over here in August. Those were just beautiful spikes if you guys were trading on Binance. But I'm waiting for some more breakouts here, and I'm just waiting for some of these typical patterns to play out. Matic has a decent one, but you see Solana, it has maybe an okay one, but I would probably buy this off of a simple support level and not so much as far as hoping for a breakout. That breakout, I guess if it were to come, would look something more like that. Hopefully it would break out above that 200 daily moving average, have a nice pop up towards $35, back up here, that's $38. We'll have to see. Right now, again, we're just dealing with some basic support levels, and this is making it very easy to trade if you guys would like to do some swing trading or day trading more like what I'm doing. These are some really good opportunities for you guys. The trick to me right now is just to find out when to get out, and as far as I can see, I'm really just sticking to day trading, swing trading. While I've made some profitable trades, they've been kind of offset by some nasty trades I've made as well over the past few weeks. So, maybe because I haven't been able to give my full attention to trading, but I wouldn't try to, that's probably just my responsibility. I'm like, hey, I don't have time for it, but at the same time, I probably would have made a couple mistakes in there too. So day trading is still my jam. And when we have these nice little pumps, I'm more than willing to kind of hop in here and have some fun with it. unless, if I do some swing trading, it really does have to be on a longer term support level and not so much on a shorter term move. You can actually see right here as far as Matic is concerned, right? We've had some really weird moves, but the last trend line that we had was right over here, from there to there. I would have had to buy there, hold a few days, and that would have made some money. But, we didn't really have this trend line until this little few days of nastiness. Before there, we had this one. This one might have scared me, or I might have got wicked out of it. You never know. But you might have bought their support. You could have made some money there. So there are opportunities where it's working. But for me, personally, day trading has been nice. I'm trading with leverage at the same time, so just be aware of that. But definitely been a very interesting night, everybody, and a very interesting week as far as crypto assets are concerned, because Bitcoin's moving up and altcoins are moving up, but not nearly as much, which is interesting. Or maybe Bitcoin just catching up. Let's take a quick look here at CoinMarketCap. So last 7 days, yeah, Bitcoin's up 11%, BNB's only up 5, Ethereum's only up 5, XRP's only up 8, ADA's up 14 more, Dogecoin's only up 6, Solana's up 15. So Bitcoin is kind of outpacing a lot of coins right now. Not all the coins, but a lot of coins, which has been, again, very, very interesting to kind of watch this scenario play out. Now, a few things here, just like we talked about. Tesla beats earnings. That's very good news for the market tomorrow. I'm hoping that gives us a nice solid boost. If we go over here to check out the futures, we're in the green. We're looking good. Yesterday, we were in the deep red, and as far as the futures were concerned, and you saw how nasty of a morning we had. Now, a revenue beat of $24.3 billion, earnings per share of $1.19. Automotive revenue amounted to $21.3 billion in the first 3 months ending in 2022, and included a $324 million of deferred revenue related to the company's driver assistance systems. Oh, that's interesting. Automotive gross margins came in at 25.9%, the lowest figure in the last 5 quarters. So margins have been creeping down bit by bit as far as Tesla's concerned. But from what I understand, Ford, BMW, those types of corporations, their margins are kind of closer to 16%. So Tesla is still doing much better than them, which is what I really like about them. Also, they have this type of self-driving technology that I think is going to be great. All right, so Tesla, just very, very good news as far as they're concerned. If you guys care about Facebook, Meta, I think they may get a small revenue boost from this if Trump decides to start posting on Facebook once more. But Facebook and Instagram are going to reinstate Trump after a 2-year ban. I think they just needed more people to kind of show up on the platform again. I don't know. They're kind of hurting for money right now. You guys have all seen Meta stock kind of plummet over the past few quarters. It has had a solid rebound along with everything else, but that's literally because Meta lost so much market cap. You might consider it to be a meme token of some time, right? And we're also, just so you guys know, we're also hitting that one price target here as far as if you guys care about my Fibonacci levels and whatnot. Let's go to the monthly chart. We fell down below COVID lows, and we fell down below 2018 lows. That's how much Microsoft fell off a cliff, and it fell down about 78%. Now, again, a beautiful rebound. This is probably my best performing asset that I've bought in over the past few months, only because I was buying it while it was crashing for a longer term hold. Only thing that's probably made me more money here, probably been a little bit of Netflix, honestly. But Netflix, again, they're just, it's not even so much of the fundamentals. It's just the point that they've come down so much and the companies are still generating so much cash flow. Why can't I buy them, right? It's not like they're not profitable. So keep an eye out for any companies that are looking like this. This market is starting to get pretty interesting here. Again, still bearish for the next few quarters, but while we're kind of on this gravy train, I'm going to hop on and try to make as much money as possible off of it. So what I'm going to do now, very fast, just go over here to the 4-hour chart, get rid of this resistance level because I don't really need it for now. And we can kind of just enjoy this kind of wild breakout that we had. That was just very interesting, just very, very interesting. Good thing is, though, we've had a solid breakout. So if you guys want to ask me any questions about any coins, feel free to let loose, or stocks. I'm here to help you guys out. And hey, Fitz, happy to see you guys. TechRow, what do you buy puts on Salesforce? Let's see. CRM? It's heading up here to a level of resistance. Yeah, let me go over here very fast. You're getting up there to a pretty solid resistance level. I can even take that all the way back over here to last September. It's had a pretty decent run so far. Still kind of finding a way to go down just like the traditional market. Here, let me hop over to the 30-minute chart, though. Finding its way down, broke down below a small level of support. Again, not the end of the world. How did it do today versus this? Broke back out about it. Perfect. I would say if you want to buy puts on this, go ahead. Just be careful. Again, that over the next few days, we're going to have more earnings coming out. And we're also against that resistance level. So just have a stop loss maybe around 160 to 165 if we make it up that high. Now, for those puts, I'd probably aim for 150 to 145 puts expiring 2 weeks out. That way you give it some time to test out these resistance levels and eventually fall back down. You can see it usually tests for maybe 4 or 5 days before taking that big dip down. This one, it just kind of came up high and just kind of came back down until it double bottomed out, right? But I would be aiming for 145, 150 calls expiring 2 weeks out. So not this Friday, but probably next Friday. If you buy it later on this week, you might even try to buy it for another Friday out. But I think because this is there's not too many options on this, I don't think it'll be too expensive to actually own those puts. I would say yeah, but I would try to be a little bit more picky and try to buy it in or buy the puts themselves within the zone over here. And just honestly, for now, you could always put your Fibonacci levels and stuff like that here. What I'd probably be looking at is probably just to see what happens with this 50-day moving average. That's where my target price would be on the downward move. It's a little bit lower than where it was before. You can see the trends ultimately are still going down for a lot of these asset classes. But yeah, I'd be okay with that. Just the short-term concern here is wait for it to break down because, again, we did have a little bit of a breakout move there depending on how you look at it. So it might go sideways for a little bit of time. That's why you kind of want to have more time, more theta to kind of let this work itself out, then come back down. Golden Cross coming up, not the end of the world, I don't think. Just be careful. Again, technicals say we should come back down, especially because we're up against these levels of resistance. Just be prepared if something really wild happens that we end up breaking out. That's going to be the time you're like, whoa, 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 what's going on? You might flip that put to a call. That call might be somewhere around 165 to 170. Play that out for a week and then take your profits as it kind of pumps back up here to probably 179 or so, okay? So you have options. I'd be more bearish than bullish, especially where the entire market is at right now for this kind of crazy rally. What's this been up to? Yeah, 22%. Yeah, that's kind of a wild rally for a short amount of time here. Every time it does that in the past, it really just finds a way to crash and burn back, doesn't it? All right, but yeah, I would say probably puts the best thing here. Keep an eye to see if it actually does break out above the 200 daily moving average. It hasn't been above that bad boy since January of 2022, like a year. So it's been a while. Back over here, let's go to the 15. And we can take off this breakout point for now just because of how crazy that was. And still holding the support levels for now. There we go. Will Mana have an increased market cap due to the Apple deal? Probably not anytime soon. It's just going to stick around with Bitcoin at this point. Whenever a cryptocurrency has a deal or it makes some type of announcement, it usually has some type of pump. However, that pump usually dies back down, and then it goes back to following Bitcoin, maybe with a little bit of a higher market cap it had before. But in reality, it usually just finds its way back to doing whatever Bitcoin's doing. So if we take a look at Mana here, you guys will see that I did have a nice little pump over the past few days. Let's go to the daily chart. All right. Nice little pump. This pump right here was a little bit larger than everything else. At this point, though, I'm treating this like a normal pattern play. Little couple trend lines trading within this range right here. You could also go off of another trading range if you wanted to, depending on what you guys are looking for. Maybe something more like that and that. You could do that as well. But basically, at a certain point, it is going to break out, and that may be a good play to make. Just understand that the 20-day moving average is coming up close. Golden Cross may be coming, but you don't want to see this end up breaking back down below the 200 and the daily. One last thing here is I know I drew this trend line right here. I would not use that as a breakout. I'd be using this trend line here just because if it does break out from, let's just say, this level that I just put that at, like right around here, you might see this. Where's my? Let me just go to my cheat one right here. There you go. You may see a breakout test here, then come back down, trading it back in this range, and it may make these higher highs, but the lower lows, or it may also make lower highs, but at the same time, you want to take that short amount of profit because if you're with leverage, that may stop you out right there. There we go. All right. Here you guys go. 1 second. Boom. Loki's sleeping again. See, I know how to make a good bed, even though it's just dirty blankets that I need to wash in a couple hours. And hey, Alex, thoughts on Shopify long term? I'm actually bullish on Shopify. I think they'll do very well in the long term, My reasoning for that is I don't see kind of goes to simple economics here. I think we're gonna have a recession. I think we'll get beat up a little bit here. Let's kind of go over to Shopify though. Probably let's go to monthly chart here, I guess. All right. Kind of reminds you of a Microsoft something, right? Came down to previous lows because it got went up so high because everybody thought this new system of online during the pandemic, right? Um, and they did have a split out a couple months ago as well. It looks like too. I think as people find it harder and harder and harder to make a livable income, they're going to be looking for other sources of other ways to make money. Okay, and Shopify to a lot of people seems to be that thing. Now the good thing about them is they don't have to rely like on ad revenue like YouTube does. So if the economy is bad, people aren't spending money on advertisers stuff like that. They don't have to worry about that. They just have to basically worry about people buying their users products in order to take a little bit of a little bit off of it and making sure enough people have money to just pay their monthly dues, if that makes sense. Now, so I think in the long run they're going to do very 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 well. At this point though, it's been interesting to kind of watch them not stay at their support levels. We broke down below it, had some good news, then boom, we popped back out. That was something I had not seen in a long time. Just to kind of this is the monthly chart here, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. We had that support level, looks like it was more up here. We managed to break down below it, and then things just got kind of wild there. So I'm interested to see how all this plays out. You could even see a kind of a nasty shoulder, head and shoulder kind of thing over here as well. Although, like, we'll see how that one turns out. But right now, it's having golden crosses. It's having a nice reversal. I think long term, this will eventually make new highs. It'll be a while before that happens. But this is something I hold personally in my own account. Not a lot, but I think it does have some potential. I basically bought it again back when it was down here. Not these lows, but kind of just around here when it was choppy. It was my first bet of a few that I wanted to make. I was hoping it might come back down all the way to like $16, $17 if things get really, really bad. Mostly up here on $20 if things get really, really bad again. I think I had like you can see every support level here on this weekly chart. Basically, I just wanted to buy a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. This one not likely to hit. This one maybe likely to hit. This one, probably, but still a little more likely than this one. Down here on $25 is my dream that we might hit that level because we already, oh, I guess we did hit it. And I wonder if my automatic order went through. I wonder if we did hit through. I have to look that up. Okay, I don't really care about Spotify too much as far as a passionate project, but it's something where I'm like, hey, it's gonna make me money in the long term. I believe, right? Um, but yeah, at this point, I think it's gonna do just fine long term. Again, let me go over here to shop. This is what I want to show you a few minutes ago. Take a sip of Jamaica. When you look at the chart like this, I think it's just basically log is turned off. You can see we've given up all the ground we've made since 2019 to 2022. All that growth is kind of gone. This is just to me just looks like a great opportunity. Why not buy it here? Of course, it may go back down. It may again, right? But come on, this is a profitable company. Well, I guess not profitable, but they're a company. How do I want to say this? They're a company that gives people an opportunity to make money, and I think they will get profitability down the road. But that's a $56 billion market cap. Oops. I don't know why I thought it was profitable though. Anything else here? No, not much. Nope, not much else here. Anything else I need to know about? Let's see. No, no, that's about it. Yeah, it's come down so much. If you were to buy, if you bought now or you bought over the past few months, I really do think it was a great opportunity. We'll see if it goes down lower. It very well might, but again, I'll be there to buy it at the end of the day. Let's go back over here to the 5. Oh, really? Let's go to the 15 then. All right. And hey, Alan, I'm happy to see you back. Hey, Max Power. Can I look at GNS when you have a second? I sure can. Let's see. Are the likes hidden? I don't think so, but I'm streaming later than normal. Although nobody's chatting today, which is kind of concerning. Maybe, I don't know why. Let's see. GNS, let's go over here. I'm thinking you mean Genus Group Limited. Let me know if you mean a crypto coin or the stock. I would assume the stock. Let me go over here very fast. Looks like this education Singapore. Not what I wanted to do. Nothing there. Okay. Entrepreneur Education Group. Genius Group is a global ed tech and education company with over 2.7 million students in 200 countries. We are developing a future focus on entrepreneurial education systems that spans from early training, primary and secondary school, through to university, adult education, and corporate training. Oh, okay. Also has a twinge of networking, it looks like, in here as well. Um, let's see. No worries, Alex. Happy to help you out. The curriculum. Hmm. I don't. I mean, the company's premise seems pretty decent. Let's kind of zoom out here. It looks like they've had a really good boom over the last few days. Oh, whoa, they're a penny stock. Well, yeah, they were a penny stock over here. So Singapore earnings have started to improve since Q3. That's good. Even this one's next May. Does not pay dividends. Yes. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I'm guessing it had some type of short squeeze then. Short interest? No, small short float. Oh, market cap is just $56 million. That's why. It's the tiniest market cap possible. Um, I would say be careful of it because it looks like it IPO'd back here in April of last year. It's just been crashing ever since. IPO price looks like it opened up at 15 bucks, came all the way down to 33 cents. I wouldn't really buy it now after all that kind of crazy movement. Maybe you could if you wanted to, but I'd probably do something more of the terms of dollar cost averaging and not buying in bulk because you never know. Again, it's had these big pumps before, not nearly as much this time, but if it does end up coming back down, you might be able to have a easier price, and you never know if this thing's going to have to go through a split if it does come back down below a dollar. I would say be careful. It's a very, very small market cap company, around $50 million. So you really don't have to put much money into it if you're looking to make a nice profit. That's the good thing here. But I don't see any evidence of a short squeeze. I see more of an evidence of a low market cap stock that got bought up, and now there's a mad dash to buy up as much as you can, causing some fun and maybe some opportunities as far as day trading is concerned. Yeah. So far, just a consolidation. You might see it break back down here to the $3 range, and then from there, I would say you might have an opportunity to buy down here and play another bounce. You got multiple bottoms around here. Buy around there, hope for a larger move. Otherwise, you're going to be looking for some type of breakout out of the smaller trading range right here and hoping it gets back up here to 556 and 638 or so. So there's an opportunity there, but I would just say be careful. Moves like that can be kind of crazy to play around with, especially if you're not at your computer. Let's see. Hey, Alan, time thoughts on Rivian? RIVN. I haven't talked about Rivian in a while. Rip. I've owned this for such a long time. Um, I've been dollar cost averaging this for a long time, actually. Yeah, I've been dollar cost averaging this since like way, way over here, some over here, even some over here. I'm interested to see how the EV plays out, and I missed out on Tesla. I guess I made some money off of options, but I want to try to get into a company like this at a lower market cap than Tesla. Although I have to say, Rivian has a pretty large market cap too. Even though it's looks like it's lower, market cap is still 16 billion. Right? But see this not profitable. So I'm hoping when they turn profitable, that 16 billion will turn into 50 billion, something like that, right? Okay. So maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait it out. Okay, but as far as this is concerned here, this kind of fits that same pattern that we've talked about over the past few months or some few weeks. We have found a local bottom in the market as everything tried to settle off after all that kind of bad news that we had. Now, this one, unlike a lot of other stocks that we talk about, it has had multiple new lows, unfortunately, and that's just a product of the timing of which it IPO'd back over here in 2022, 2021. Just, in hindsight, not the best opportunity, not the best timing to do an IPO, right? And they've had to get more and more and more money. The good thing about them, though, is if you go over here, you know, is there a way for me to show you guys this in a very simple way? Uh, Rivian. I hope I spelled that right. Yeah, we've been okay. So Vanguard owns some, Fidelity owns some, BlackRock owns some, another BlackRock, Soros Fund owns some, D1 Capital Partners, T. Rowe Price Investment. Soros is trying to copy Elon Musk here. Um, oh, but he sold some this year. Oh, whoa, these people have been selling some off a little bit, getting a little bit antsy about it. Meanwhile, Vanguard Group has been buying up a bunch. So let's see. They got some mutual funds holding it as well. Again, Vanguard probably just for the ETFs and stuff like that. But you guys can see there are some big players in here, and I don't think they want it to fail. I think they're going to try to help it out as much as they can. But they do have access to funding and credit lines, if that makes sense. So they're not really struggling for cash, I don't think, at this point. Now, in the short term here, I guess you could use this 20-day moving average level as support. You're going to be looking at this resistance level right there, though. If we can blast above, I would say $18.70 to maybe $19. I think you do have an opportunity here to start pumping up a little bit higher. Not so much because their technicals or their fundamentals have improved. Typically, just because we're having a nice breakout, and that could curl the 20-day moving average back up here. Excuse me. And if I bought around $19, I'd probably have a price target scaling out. Geez, excuse me, guys. Gassy from that mic. Probably just around $22, $25, $28, $28 being a long shot here. So if it did start coming back down, I would obviously start to scale a little bit faster. But a lot of your typical Fibonacci levels and stuff like that might not be the best help here. Right? At this point in time, right there, that first major one around $20, again around I say 21 and a half. I would say 22 and a quarter, 22.50 here. And of course, moving back up here a little bit higher to this zone. But personally, you know, it would only be happening because the Nasdaq and the SPY are having these massive breakouts out of those multi-month downtrends there. But I could see myself having a price target of around 22 to $28 really. But 22 bucks, you better start selling. 25 bucks, you're probably going to be mostly out of it. 28 bucks, like, wow, I just closed that position. Let's go get myself a nice fancy dinner. That's the way I would kind of look at it right now. But that Fibonacci chart, it only gives you so much because it's, again, we've only been going sideways for the most the last few days, right? So not much there. An opportunity nonetheless, though. There we go. What do you think about the death cross forming on Bitcoin? So he's talking about. Let me take another drink of Jamaica here. My God, those are such good Jamaica leaves. Okay, let's go over here to another Bitcoin chart just so I can have a little bit of nicer one. So I'm thinking you're talking about this one right here, where the 50-week moving average is about to close down below the 200-weekly moving average. To me, at this point, it does signal a bearish shift coming. And normally, some of the nastiest moves we have as far as Bitcoin is concerned is when Bitcoin has actually recently had a pretty sizable pump, right? It's not like Bitcoin usually just falls off of a cliff for nothing. I think the only exception to that may just be the FTX scare here, because I don't think naturally we were actually going to break down to new lows. But FTX really just screwed up the entire market because there was like pure panic, pure panic here. Now, you can see the last few opportunities we've had. We had a rally that lasted about 47%, proceeded to crash off a cliff. What was that? The first crash right here, about 45%. Second day crash right here, around 62%. But you go over here again, we had a nice another rally right there. That rally was about 27%. Then from here, we came back down around 46%. Even some of these smaller rallies that we've seen again, as we've tried to level off 40 up 42%, down 28%. At this point, we've had a nice rally of about 50%. I think we may have to come back down a little bit more based off of this. Again, though, the optimistic side of this, the more bullish viewpoint is, even though we have a death cross, we don't have a history of it actually causing negative effects. It's never happened before, right? The blue line is never crossed down below the yellow line, not in Bitcoin's entire history here, okay? So, perhaps, we have an opportunity to go up a little bit higher in the short term here and try to go up to maybe 33,000, something really crazy parabolic, perhaps. I would still say that I think we're finishing up towards the end of this current rally, and we should be making a downward move if the Federal Reserve sticks to that 50 basis point rate hike. Apple has not great earnings, and the rest of the earnings continue to be so or bad of which they've been so far. Most earnings have not been pleasant. The guidance is what's been concerning. Everybody sees guidance going down, and I think a lot of the shit, so to speak, hits the fan down the road is when all these people that say, hey, we recommend a buy rating for Google, a buy rating for Apple, when they actually say, hey, no, really, we shouldn't have a buy rating, we should have a hold rating or a sell rating. That's when the market capitulates. That's when people really freak out, and that's when the bottom of the market really hits in. We haven't really had that yet. And at the same time here, if I go over check out the NASDAQ, let's get rid of those lines. The NASDAQ is also going to have some of these death crosses here pretty soon. And again, that's going to be something interesting. My fear here is if you're a bull, you just don't want to see the NASDAQ break down below that. You don't want to see the SPY break down below this. That's what you don't want to see. The good thing for the SPY, at least, is even though we have the support level from way over here from COVID lows, I guess pre-COVID highs, at least we can kind of go back into this downtrend. The NASDAQ, it really has the next stop is way down here under $10,000. That's why this is such a scary premise. If we end up breaking down here, we only have the support levels from here. After that, again, let's just say it happens right around there. The support level is that it's like really right there that we kind of make that nasty fall. And during that nasty fall, Bitcoin's fallen off a cliff. Hopefully not to any crazy new lows. Maybe we just go back to the previous lows we had. Maybe that's an opportunity there. But that's the big concern because I see it, and the trend suggests we still have a lot more room to go down. But the markets can turn not even irrational at this point, but they could just get so happy about maybe the Federal Reserve thinking they're going to cut rates and whatnot. That's what people are saying. Like I was listening to a guy that right here. I was listening to somebody the other day on CNBC. I forget his name. Seemed pretty smart. We have two different philosophies on what's going to happen, but I kind of thought about his a little bit more after this, even though I don't agree with it. So me and this guy both think there's going to be a recession, okay? And markets should go down more than what we've seen so far as the NASDAQ, the SPY, Dow Jones Industrial, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, the whole thing, okay? Where me and him differ, though, is I think that Jerome Powell is not going to cut rates even if the economy gets worse because he wants to see inflation go back to 2%. And they've been saying that for months and months and months and months and months and months and even more months, okay? His premise is we're going to go down for a little bit more, and then the Fed is going to capitulate and blink, so to speak, in the staring contest, and they're going to start cutting rates because the economy is slowing down. Or the economy goes into, this is only if the economy goes into a recession, right? We go into recession. So, and he thinks what's going to happen then is we're actually going to have a very strong next half of the year, second half of the year, basically. I don't see him cutting rates. I can see him stopping to raise rates, but not cutting them. I think what most likely happens is we finish off raising rates sometime in this February, March, or April. After that, I think we just go sideways. As far as rates are concerned. I think the economy continues to get worse. We see sales data continue to come down. And then after that, unfortunately, we go into a recession. The Federal Reserve says, no, we're not going to be changing rates. We told you guys about this for over a year, years at that point, right? And you guys refuse to listen. So if you guys are in the market, we already told you guys this ahead of time. Shame on you, right? The market's used to winning against Wall Street and the government because they can throw a tantrum. People get freaked out. They're like, okay, we got to fix it. Sorry. And that's where you see all these crazy things that happen in the market, right? So I think that things may get a little bit testy at a certain point, but I don't think the Fed is going to capitulate. If you're kind of more in the position the Federal Reserve is going to capitulate and they're kind of blinking the situation, maybe the NASDAQ really only goes back down to the lows we experienced a few months ago, back around 10,407. I think we're probably going to go back to, as far as the NASDAQ is concerned, back down to these lows over here from these post-COVID, I guess these COVID highs, pre-COVID highs. But I just think we have so much further to go. It wasn't like a few months ago that I was saying, hey, I'm planning for Apple to go. Oh, actually, let me make sure I'm saying it right because I don't want to sound like an idiot here. Apple back down here to $80. I can reasonably see that, although I'm going to also be buying it right down here around $100. I think that Apple can go down here and a long shot, but still a probability Apple goes down to 85 bucks. Again, this is if there's a really bad recession and Jerome Powell does not cut rates, the economy just gets worse and worse and worse until inflation fixes itself. Now, that's my theory here. I may think that I may be too bearish as far as all this is concerned, but I don't think that the economy capitulates until Apple decides to break down, honestly. Apple's holding up the market. Everything else is already giving way slowly. We've already seen Tesla, we've already seen Netflix, Microsoft going down, right? But Facebook, what was the other one? Give me a second. Amazon, we've already seen coming back down. MU, we've already seen coming back down. There's something in my mind that I'm just forgetting. I don't know. It's something related to Apple. Oh, Google. There you go. We even see Google hovering above these support levels that we had talked about before. So I think we're honestly, as far as the Nasdaq is concerned, and some of these other plays, even for the SPY, I guess at the same time, we're just really waiting for Apple to hurry up and join the rest of the crowd so we can get this over with. Once that happens, we're fine. But again, if you guys go over here and let's go to FinViz, can I find it right here? Oh, Boeing had disappointing earnings today as well. Let's just go over here to Apple. Okay. Apple just broke out, kind of, not really. Did it really break out? No. This is why I trust my own technicals. We're close, but we're at a level of resistance right now. Maybe this is as high as we go. Again, we're having trouble. And when Apple's having trouble breaking out, guess what's also having a trouble breaking out? The Nasdaq itself. And you see, we're up against the same levels of resistance. That's how it always works. Okay, so basically, I want to see this breakdown, then we should be going. But if you go over here to Apple, it still has buy ratings. And this just reiterated January 23rd. That's 2 days ago. They're still saying to buy it. And it just blows my mind. Right? So I think this is me putting on a tinfoil hat. Do I have something tinfoil on my desk? I have an expensive candle for men from Burseler that cost me like 30 bucks for this candle. But it is freaking great. Okay, tinfoil hat time, okay? My thought here is, if you guys have watched a lot of these movies as far as the financial crisis in 2008, you'll know that the hedge funds and all these people kind of control the markets for the mortgage bonds and things of that nature, okay? Well, when they realized all their stuff was going to shit, they kept propping up the prices even though they knew all the underlying stuff was full of shit till they had time to open up enough shorts so that when the market fell down, they would have a way to make a profit off of it. I think what's happening right now is the market is kind of being propped up by a lot of these hedge funds and banks and institutions until a time where they just can't hold it up anymore, but they still find a way to make a profit on the way down. They can't just start opening up a bunch of shorts right now because now they have to be so much more transparent. I honestly think they're just looking for ways to make money off of a market downturn here. That's my tinfoil hat theory, okay? Tinfoil hat theory. Don't want to make you guys all confused there. Tinfoil hat theory. But I don't really think of hedge funds and banks as truthful actors, honorable actors in this environment, okay? Now, again, Apple's at resistance, and you go back over here, not to my watch list, but over here to the NASDAQ. You see that, oh, this is a different chart. I'm on the... Did I mess it up? Probably did. It's okay. And you see the same time, the NASDAQ is at a level of resistance as well. This is the problem. If Apple's not breaking out, the NASDAQ's not breaking out. But we need Apple to break out. Apple's earnings are not until February. So we might have to wait a little bit of time before that occurs. And honestly, because of all the crazy China stuff we saw about China locking people in apartments or factories to make iPhones, I don't exactly know how much profit they've made. I would assume they made a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if they're going to be beating expectations anytime soon. Again, that's a maybe. I don't know. They've had a lot of problems, but Apple is they got their act. They got a good company running, right? All right. One other thing here you guys may care about. Maybe it's better if I do... Load layout. Let's go to an older work one. All right. Let's go for the TUI here. Daily. Let's go. Okay, daily. The breakout was interesting. Okay. Let's go over here to watch list. Let's have the bottom one, top one be Apple. Oh no, we need this top one to be NASDAQ. Down here, we need it to be the VIX. Oh, there it is, the very top. Let's go to weekly. All right. The VIX has been going slow down here over the past few weeks, so I wonder if I can squish this together, if this will make a difference or not. It's not going to be a easy one-to-one comparable here, but let's see. You know, maybe from Wednesday, December 28th. I guess one of the things we really start to pick off here. Let's just go to January 5th. Yeah, January 5th. Where's January 5th over here? Why isn't it matching up on the days, though? All right. Something is weird here because this is not the same amount of weeks. January 5th, January 3rd. Something is wrong about this, and I don't know why it's wrong about it, but I have to move over to the daily. No. Oh, did I? Oh, let's go back. NASDAQ. Well, I was going to do something, but I don't know why it's. Oh, no, there goes. I might have made a mistake with the top one here. Okay, never mind. That's my bad. You see how the VIX started coming back down here? If we go to a high point over here, November 28th. Again, we were at a nice little bottom part right down here. Actually, no, it's not going to work out this time. No. Okay, I was going to do another analysis, but I don't think it's going to work with the NASDAQ here. I'll say this instead. Basically, we're getting to that point right now where the VIX is pretty low. We're due for some volatility here, one way or the other. But if we get rejected, you're going to see this VIX start to jump back up here. We're not going to be nearly as volatile as we were last year, I guess, because that was kind of scary. COVID, not back over here as well. But I don't know what chart I was. I was looking at a different chart than the VIX then. What was I looking at? It's not important. But basically, we are due for some more volatility here, everybody. Keep an eye out for it. History would say, unfortunately, we're going to be bashed back down. But if we have some good news coming out from an economics perspective, perhaps we have some Bitcoin can get up to $25,000, possibly $30,000, and then it would eventually crash, unfortunately. But that's again if the economy really does start to tank back down. All right, there we go. Let's right here. And hey, Larry, yeah, the chart times did move. It was weird. I want to buy Mullen Auto and NVOS, but I'm not. I'm reading that they're dealing with naked shorting. What is naked shorting? Oh, people are just selling the shares to drive the price down. Somebody probably wants to buy them shorter, so they're trying to manipulate the price action on the downward side so they can buy up a bunch. That's usually what happens. Otherwise, they just they don't like the stock and they're just trying to punish it because they know they can drive it lower and lower and lower by driving up the fear levels, especially in this type of environment. Do you think we'll see a pop in AAP back up to $200 a share? Kind of depends on the time frame here. So here, Advanced Auto Parts, it's doing okay now. Well, the good thing about auto parts companies, I know this is kind of following the same type of nasty trend that we've been seeing with a lot of other companies. Short-term answer, yes, eventually it will. I would say you might see Advanced Auto Parts and some of these other companies do okay in a major recession. So let me go over here very fast. Let me just double check this very fast. Yeah, because they do have a 4% dividend, but on top of that, when the economy gets really, really rough, people tend to not take their car to Firestone or a mechanic because it tends to just be too expensive. What they do instead is they try to go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto Parts. Usually it's an AutoZone or O'Reilly's, so this one's not as good, I would say. But what they do instead is they buy it there and they try to do it at home and they try to change the oil at home. They try to fix something in the car at home, and they use that. That's usually how it works out. Like when I get my oil changed, that's the only time I really take my car out. I get it tuned up occasionally, but that's usually once a year, right before the driving season, kind of around May June time. I think this should hold up okay. It's really just because of the dividends. You'll see that it really didn't gain as much during the COVID kind of boom that we saw with a lot of other plays. It's already back down here to these levels pre-COVID. That's why I'm like, I could see it kind of sticking around here and going more in this sideways trend here. Now, If we have somewhat more of a devastating recession, of course, it could make its way back down to lower levels over here. But you could see there's a pretty strong level of support all the way over here before it broke again, all the way over here before it broke. But there is a strong level of support around here that I'd be willing to try to buy off of. And you can see we already got close enough to it where people are already thinking that same idea there. Um, the way I view it though, this isn't something I would just try to hold on for like a few months. This is something I would try to hold on for a few years. And I'd be buying this in multiple legs, and I'd be okay if not all of my legs, all of my buying positions were triggered, right? So I would have bought some at these support levels that it was a few weeks ago. I would still buy it if it came back down. If it comes back down to this next level, which is below these levels over here, I would buy a little bit more. If it came back down to these levels over here, a little bit more. If it came back down to 80 bucks, I'd buy heavy. But long-term thought process here, I would have limit orders stacked and just wait it out. Or you really don't have to have limit orders waiting because that just kind of locks that money in when you could be using it for something else. But you could just have alerts set up, whether on TradingView, TD Ameritrade, whatever you got. You just get a little email, or you might get a little ping on your phone and just says, hey, Advanced Auto Parts hit this level of support. You had a note here, if level is hit by 50 shares of, buy 50 shares. That's how I'd be looking at it as far as Advanced Auto Parts here. But I do think it should come back down a little bit more, but I would still be trying to buy some here just to take the opportunity, knowing that, again, let me go to the monthly chart. Long term, it's been doing fine. It's just hit some sideways action over the past few quarters, and I guess past decade or so. And I'm okay with that. I really am just okay with that, just because I know this is a really profitable company. They're doing a good job here. It almost reminds me of IBM. See that sideways action? It's a good company. It's not nearly as bad. It's been coming down for a while, but these highs aren't from last year. These highs are from 2013. So, I've been buying up IBM because it's just been going sideways. It's come down, you can see it, but it's still just been going sideways. And that's something I like about it. You see during the dot-com really rush of 1990s, it gained up a lot. Dot-com bubble crashed down, 2008 crashed down. It hasn't been seeing meteoric growth, and that's why I kind of like it here. I think eventually it will have some solid growth, but for now, it's just somewhere to kind of hold your money. And again, if you go over here to here, IBM, come down here, you see it has a dividend of 4.69%. Cha-chow, right? So that's what I like about it right now. Yep. So like stuff like that, yeah. It may not be the most attractive thing, like if you look at it from a historical perspective, but it's moving sideways, not necessarily fully down. I'll say Advanced Auto Parts is moving down though, which is why I'm having those different legs to buy. But if you find opportunities like this, I'm all for it. And you've even seen some of the oil plays that I've been talking about, my Chevron today. My YouTube, breakouts, there you go. Chevron beat earnings today. Let's go over here to after hours, spiked up. I believe it made it didn't make all-time highs. It was close. It couldn't make all-time highs tomorrow. But this thing is still booming right now. And they announced something crazy like a $75 billion buyback. Again, okay, $75 billion buyback. Go over here. CVX. The market cap is only $342 billion. That is massive. That's 2/4 of income basically going to the market cap. Of course, people are going to sell off. You're going to see the price probably go up a little bit higher. And again, has a 3.17 dividend. I don't own as much of this anymore because, of course, I've been kind of putting my money into those higher dividend plays like the PDXs and Schlumbergers and stuff like that. However, it's still performing very well, and I am perfectly good with that. Okay, highs looks like around 189 to 179. It's really the boring stuff that I've been talking to you guys about that seems to be doing pretty well. The other stuff that's been doing well have typically been the things like Meta that have crashed already and they're just having a rebound. That's cool and all, but you don't want to really have to deal with all that scary ride in order to make some money. Okay, back over here to Bitcoin and whatnot. I guess I'll put the 5 over here just so we can kind of keep this going while I'm answering you guys' questions. And no worries, Faison, happy to help you out. Can I chart AMC? Oh, sorry, Hannah. Do you think the S&P will have a green day tomorrow? I would say it should, if not, at least go sideways here based off of the Tesla news. If Tesla had bad earnings, I would say we were just going to be tanking, honestly. Just like how Microsoft really killed us today. I think, though, that we should have a pretty steady day tomorrow. it's just more of like how we end the day, right? So if we take a look at here, the SPY again, a daily chart should probably work best. The last few days have all been green candles, but every day it's just been kind of awkward to see how it get there. Again, we opened up lower, went up higher here. That was a great first day. That was Monday. Yesterday, we didn't really start off that great, but we ended up finishing off okay. Today, we started off really, really shittily, and then we still managed to hold the 200 daily moving average before moving our way back up for a really strong day here. I mean, just look at this day. And you can see after hours, Tesla, that's Tesla's move right there, affecting the S&P. We had a horrible start to the day, but throughout the day, the swing here, guys, the swing, look at this, about 1.5%. That's major for the market. Normally, we just kind of stay along, we stay down. It's not too good. We had a really good move today, guys. We had a very, very good move here today, and I liked it a lot. Not the largest of swings, you could see some larger moves, but the fact that it looked like we were just going to start this rejection train, that was really good news that we ended up going sideways. At the end of the day, sideways. But tomorrow, yeah, we should probably move up a little bit higher. I don't know if that move higher necessarily means testing out this resistance level, or it just means, again, we end up like maybe starting off high, then at the end of the day, we're just still sideways. That's the big concern here. Because what were the other earnings today? Get a Tesla very fast. Well, let me just type in earnings. What am I doing? Make it easier. Keep on needing to add stuff. There you go. Today's the 25th. Where's the IBM had earnings today, it looks like. That's going to be a big one. The rating is sell. LVS over here, AMC has something, a strong sell. Wait, what? AMC, what am I looking at? Announce time. Okay, after market close before. Okay, that's good. Don't know why I was there. Tesla today. Anything else here, though? Alaska, the airlines are happening tomorrow. Southwest is going to be slaughtered, but everything else should do okay. 26 coming up. Trying to look to see if there's anything crazy that would pop up tomorrow morning. So Alaskan Airlines, that should be hopefully that. I mean, before the market, that has to be good. All right, that's fine. LA checks, that should be fine, I think. Really, anything else coming out tomorrow? I don't think so. Anything big? No, nothing really crazy. No, okay. I think we should at least go sideways, if not up. I don't think it should be a disaster day unless there's some bad news we didn't hear about today. But the only earnings that I really paid attention to were Tesla, and that seems to be the big thing here. IBM. Oh, I thought IBM had good earnings. Apparently not. That may be a drag on it. That may be a drag on the market as a whole, but I don't think it'd be the massive drag. Let's go over here. There we go. All right. Can I chart the AMC dividend ape? It's moving up, and I want to buy a few thousand shares before it comes for it's back to AMC. I mean, there's always going to be downside to it because there's so many people that are bag holders, right? So you're talking about ape specifically, okay? It finally had a 20-week moving average after it looks like it shifted here. That's interesting. That's going to be the short-term resistance of all things. Wow. Moving up a little bit more. At most, I see it coming back down to maybe $1.15, $1.20 if it is forced to come back down. You're seeing how this uptrend that we've been kind of experiencing over the last few weeks is kind of dying down bit by bit. We really haven't closed down below it. Maybe today. Yesterday really was that day we closed down below it. We didn't close back above it today, unfortunately. So yeah, I'd probably see some short-term support right over here around 150, which is a pretty drastic move down, obviously. And then if things get really, really bad, I'd probably say this zone around here of 135 all the way down here to 116 or so. I would just say, hey, make sure it doesn't fall down below maybe 153. You should be okay, but if it does fall down below that level, it's probably going to have a pretty sharp move back down to the 130s, 140s. So be careful of that. Afterwards, though, it might have a little more of a spike just because of how these things typically play out. It's kind of turned into a meme penny stock, which is kind of interesting for AMC. It does have some downside, but really it's just because that slight downtrend fell apart, or that slight uptrend fell apart. Maybe it's just going to go sideways there, and I would just honestly, if you're going to have a stop loss, just be careful as you approach the 20-day moving average. Besides that, give it a go, have some fun, but it's very, very cheap, so it's not going to cost too much money to really buy up some shares off of it. There you go. I should fight Matt Wallace. I haven't actually seen much of Matt Wallace's content lately, but I do know that a lot of you guys watch his channel. If I go over here very fast and I go to my YouTube data, let's go to audience. Yeah, there you go. Channels your audience watches. Final stands right there. You guys watch a lot of other channels as well. You guys watch a lot of my videos and whatnot, but you guys watch his channel too. Oops. Yeah. Working on this feature will be back shortly. I guess that's what do you call it? Yeah, but what do you call it? He's still doing Dogecoin. I mean, he's still keeping people entertained. But I don't know if I'd fight Final Stand. I don't know. I don't know much. I don't even know if the guy lives in America now. I don't follow anything about him. I do know he's been putting on a lot more content though. But because the market's been picking up, I believe everybody in the crypto niche has been getting a lot more views here, right? So, not SoCal, social play. There we go. Go over here to there you go. Final Stand. No, what the? Why does it always do that? Final Stand. I feel like they must be missing something when it comes to his name. I don't know why. Final Stand. There's something. Final Stand? No, I don't know. I mean, even go BitBoy Crypto. I guess maybe over here. You can see views. Oh, his subscribers aren't growing this month. That's interesting. But views are going up bit by bit for him as well. Actually, no, his views are going down. You know what? I think because he had a bunch of views because of the FTX stuff, I believe that those are going down. And I think people that like all the FTX stuff, they probably just don't like to watch his day-to-day content. And always, Rob K, always happy to help you out. What restaurants in Vegas are you looking at? Let me look at my phone. Where is my phone? It's not in my pockets. Let me find my phone very fast. I'll be right back. You guys can look at Loki's sleep very fast. Although when I move, he'll probably move too. You guys can keep an eye out for it. I'll be back in like 5 seconds. I think it's just in my sofa's charging station. Okie dokie, I'm back. I don't think he really liked me waking him up. Normally he jumps up and wants to play. It looks like he's like passed out. Yeah, he's giving me a stern face right now. Okay. Oh, I got a few Snapchats over the last few hours. That's interesting. All right, let me find it out. Okie dokie. Here we go. So the first one is a place called Trevi. Trevi. There we go. I don't know where it's at. It's in Vegas somewhere. It's in a hotel. It's in Harrah's, Las Vegas. There you go. Oh, my friend's staying there. That's why he wanted to go to this place. So this place, I don't know why the menu takes a couple seconds to load. They don't have prices on here, but I think this is the more moderately of the price restaurants we're going to. I think I should, hold on. If I just go to menu, the menu should be down here somewhere, right? No, really. There you go. Menu. There you go. Right, so just around the typical $10, $20 stuff. Specialty pastas. Nothing too crazy here. This is gonna be a pretty nice place. I'm honestly thinking getting lasagna, but I think I'm gonna be getting lasagna the day before this because I fly in a day before him. He's there for a trade show. I'm just there for a vacation because the last time I went there was for work, and I didn't really get to have as much fun as I wanted to because I was busy the whole time. But I think I might just get traditional spaghetti and meatballs because I haven't had spaghetti and meatballs for a while, or some cheese raviolis. I'm a big fan of cheese raviolis. I don't know why. I am. They have some other stuff here. My mom said I should get this sauteed veal, but I don't know if I want the white wine butter sauce, honestly. The other place we're going to be going to is Del Monaco. I've been there a couple times, but um, never in Vegas. No. I've been to a different restaurant, but I've been here a couple times before. This one's pretty good. I think if any of you guys go to like a steakhouse, this is something that I enjoy a lot. It's just kind of loud there, and I don't know why. When I go to a nice restaurant, I want it to be very, very quiet. But that costs too much money, right? Um, but I'm gonna get the let's go dinner here. I'm gonna get this. So it's a pretty nice place. Apple cured. This is all for dinner though. Lunches, I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. This is something else I need to work on, right? Whatever this is, apple cured curabota, Buddha, Emerald's New Orleans barbecue shrimp, Alaskan Red King crab legs. I'm not gonna have any appetizers. All I kind of want is a Caesar salad and a meat. They have a seafood tower that actually looked really good. Red, but I'm going to a seafood place the next day, so I'm not gonna get any seafood here. But this looks really, really good right there. Sturgeon caviar. I've always wanted to try it, but I'm always intimidated by something called market price. But what I want is this: either the braised buffalo short ribs or the pan-seared scallops. But again, I'm eating seafood there, so I might not. I want to kind of get a picture to see what these look like. Because I'm not going to get if these don't look as good as I think they will, I'm just going to get this prime bone-in ribeye. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's really good food. I recommend this place to anybody. Um, and you can get extra stuff here. I never get anything's really. That's just me, but you guys can get a lot of other stuff here. It's really, really a good place. Overpriced if you ask me, but still a very, very good thing. I mean, I'm from, I eat tons of food in Seattle, so I'm just used to the overpriced stuff. The last thing we're going to, because I'm there for 3 nights, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, 3 nights, yeah. Let's see. Oh, wait. I might have to shift that for a 4 night. Oh, maybe I'll stay there an extra day if he got me a reservation for it. So I might be there for 4 nights. Oh, that works too. 1, 2, 3. So it's Monday night. So Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. That's 4. Wow. Okay. See, I'm still figuring this stuff out myself, and I've already bought the plane tickets, just not the hotels. Water Grill is the last one. Then we go back to crypto. This is a place I've been to only once, but I was too drunk to really enjoy anything, and I racked up a huge seafood bill when I hated myself for it because I didn't get to enjoy the seafood. And if you guys know me, I like to get drunk in Vegas. It's like my time to get drunk. I don't get drunk regularly. Vegas, I get time to let loose, unless I'm just drinking a casual fine scotch here. You guys know I like my good scotches. Las Vegas, here you go. All I want is a menu. Dinner, there you go. Look at this menu, guys. Okay, so they have some sushi and stuff like that, and cocktails and whatever this is, fresh citrus, whatever. I'm really not one for cocktails in Vegas. I kind of just like, give me a glass of scotch, give me a glass of brandy or something. Although with seafood, it's a little bit different. They have this kind of cool stuff. I don't ever eat this type of stuff, although the wild Spanish octopus kind of does sound good. I don't eat sushi at nice restaurants. I eat them at nice sushi restaurants that just specialize in sushi, if that makes sense. Um, but they have this raw bar here. Let me hide my head very fast. This stuff is great. So what I'm gonna get from here is probably a few things, just a few a la carte things here from the raw bar. Probably just each, like maybe two of this, two of this, two of this, perhaps, right? Maybe I'll buy me and my friend a dozen of something. But what I'm really getting here is, see all this chilled shellfish? Oh, it's good. I'm getting this, the Grand. Serves 1 to 2 people. I'm just gonna use it for myself, honestly. But You get a Riptide, a Komodo, Fat Bastard, two Fat Bastards, wild little neck clams, farm Peruvian based scallops, wild jumbo brown shrimp, farm Totten Inlet Mediterranean mussels. I love mussels, they're my favorite. And then half of which probably means 3/4 of a pound of North American hard shell lobster. That looks really, really good to me. If if I skip lunch that day, I may get the deluxe, but I just can't see myself. I would have to share it with my friend basically because we're not going to take seafood to go. That'd just be the freaking weirdest thing I've ever done in my life, and I've yet to do it because I've always finished all the seafood on my plate because it's good. And I tend not to order too much because I usually have again. I'm a big fan of Caesar salads, guys. I don't know how to explain it, but Caesar salads are freaking great. They also have some other stuff here, like Caesar salad right there. Um, right. Stay away from greens. They're always so weird. Just why get greens if you can get Caesar salad? It's the Parmesan cheese that makes the dish. They have a lot of other stuff here, which is pretty cool. Not 37 a pound, 38 a pound for lobster and whatnot. They got some cool stuff. Maybe I'll get some French fries or something, but they have really good mac and cheese. Maple roasted carrots, feta mousse. That seems like it'd be nice, but I don't think I would actually enjoy that. Grilled broccolini Chinese sauce. Okay, I might try that too. But yeah, those are some of the food places I'm thinking about when I go to Vegas. I'm pretty excited about it. And I just went to Vegas back in October, and I'm already going to go again. But normally I'd go to Vegas like in December or something. Because what I've been talking to my mom about is because my mom and sister and grandparents are going to Hawaii. I think in August, and I'm going to be watching their cat for a while with Loki. And so when I go to Nicaragua later on this year, I think they're just going to watch Loki. Well, they know they're going to watch Loki for me. So I've been planning out all these different trips, and I might spend Christmas in Nicaragua this year, which would be interesting. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Loki down there. That's the thing. So I might just go down there before Christmas. Then on the way coming back for Christmas, I'll hop on. Maybe I'll spend Christmas here, but a couple weeks before Christmas or the full week before Christmas, I spend all the way in Nicaragua, which would be kind of fun. Or Costa Rica. They're right next to each other, and I do like Costa Rica as well. Hey, no worries, Bideford. I actually started the stream late tonight because a couple of you guys were saying, hey, I missed the stream last night. I missed the late night streams, and I was like, oh, I'll do a late night stream for you guys. I don't mind. I challenged Matt Wallace to an MMA fight in this chat. He didn't respond. Yeah. I doubt he would have. I would have probably been very awkward if that was me. And hey, Alex, that sounds like a good theory to me. I mean, guys, my tin hat foil theories. Oh, sorry, guys, my friend's not the frame. I don't try to make them so radical crazy. I think they're realistic things that could happen. But if you say them seriously in certain corners of the financial institutional areas, people just look at you like you're crazy or something, or they look at you like, don't talk about it like that, right? They may say something that may be happening, but they'll frame it completely different, right? Because the law allows them to do such a thing that it shouldn't be something seen as something bad because the law allows it. That's kind of how it works in the world of finance. Yeah, no worries, Rob K. Happy to see you back as well, my man. PBR has been popping the last week as well. Ooh, PBR. I haven't had PBR in a while. I know you're not talking about the beer, but still. Thoughts on inverse finance? Let me know what the ticker is for, and I can help you out for it. I don't know the ticker for inverse finance right now. Or maybe it's a channel or something. I don't even know. Mike, you think 15K Bitcoin is bottom? Unfortunately, no, but that's because for me, and I want to understand the process here, I think America goes into a recession. I think America goes into a recession and Jerome Powell does not cut rates. That's my theory. Bitcoin could have a bottom of $14,000, $15,000, perhaps, if we go into a recession and Jerome Powell flinches and decides to cut rates against what he said over the past year and a half or so, right? Or the last year, okay? That could be a 15,000 Bitcoin bottom. I think we can probably go down a little bit more, but that whole premise is coming from my point of view that I think we're going to be going into recession. That's what I'm thinking of right now. Recession, recession, recession. Just when is the recession coming? That's the part that I'm having trouble deciding. I think it's personally going to happen in Q2, Q3. I'm moving away from possibly being the end of Q1, how it was before. Now I'm kind of more maybe Q2, more maybe Q3. And even though we're seeing sales go down, and that's kind of like helping out my argument for the end of Q1, the fact that the market still thinks it needs to go higher at this point kind of scares me because If the market's going high right now, that gives Jerome Powell more of a justification to see, yeah, see, the market just thinks what we're doing is fine. The market is still going sky high, or not, we're still doing just fine as far as the market's concerned. They can handle another 25 basis rate hike in order to curb inflation. They can handle it because even at this point, they're still willing to say buy. So that's how I see it going on right now. But it really comes down to, I think the economy is going to get worse. You can think about it in a whole bunch of different ways, but with the website we've been using over the past few days, um, um, sales numbers chart, economy. There you go. So you're seeing how sales numbers are starting to turn more negative now, but before they were kind of more bouncy. Well, actually, I would say good in 2022. Good, right? Let's go over here to the last 5 years, right? We were doing just fine after COVID, went down really fast, went high really fast because everybody got tons of free money. The economy was stimulated, sort of to balance back out, and now we're starting to curve back down. The thing here is, are we just going to stop around these levels, or do we start going back down to other levels? That's the concern, right? Go past 10 years. Let's go the last 25 years. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Ooh, will you guys be able to see this? Let me see. Let's move this up slightly. You guys can kind of see the numbers at the bottom, right? We're only right here. Are we going to get worse? There's other numbers to kind of go along with this, but are we going back down to 2008 numbers? .com bubble numbers, not nearly as bad, right? 2001 over here, we're going back to those type of numbers. Or we're just going to kind of go sideways for a little bit as the economy still tries to fix itself and we kind of rebound back up. Who knows? Throughout this entire time, we weren't dealing with inflation. That's the wild card here. Every time this stuff happened, this negative stuff, we lowered rates to fix it. We can't do that this time. Or the Fed says it's not going to. The big debate is, are they going to flinch or are they going to stay committed to fighting inflation? Because if they don't fight inflation, that's going to have its own problems down the road, right? But we go to max. This is 1990s. See, not so good times, not so good times. We just end up raising cutting rates, and that usually helps us out. We just can't do it this time, and that's where I think that's where most of my pessimism comes in from. And thanks, Bradford. I really do appreciate it. There's tons of other influencers out there. Don't get me wrong. I like a lot of them out there. Just don't take everything we say as influencers as reasons to buy or sell. None of us are perfect. Just trust us based off of the information we've given you in the past. And as we kind of develop a record in your own mind, you can choose to trust us or not. I have people come in here every, like maybe once a month, 3 times a month, just to figure out what I'm talking about, what I'm thinking. And they kind of put that in with their own strategy, and then they make money off it, right? So you have to really figure out what your trading style is. Is my type of educational content here, or my talking points, whatever, are my stuff helping you become a better trader? And if yeah, then you keep on watching, right? That's why I like it. Hey, AZTV, how about the recession isn't going to be so bad? That camp would probably be Bitcoin bottomed out as well around $15,000, I would say. But I don't think if the recession isn't that bad, we don't go back to $15,000. Does that make sense? If the recession's not that bad, we don't go back to $15,000. I would just say at this point in time, really take a close look at Apple. And when Apple really starts to give up a lot of those profits it's made over the past few years, that's when the market is truly capitulating. So far, Apple has really been the thing holding the market up. When Apple goes, so does the market, I would say. Like, let's see. I don't want to spell everything right. Here we go. So Apple makes up about 12% of the entire Nasdaq. Okay. Then we got Microsoft, which had not good earnings today. We got Amazon, which didn't have good earnings as well, NVIDIA, which is on the rebound here, causing a lot of the growth that we've seen. But that's, again, only 4%. Okay. Alphabet, Google, they got 2 Googles here, so it's about in total about, I would say 7% or so. Actually probably about 8%. Right, and that's kind of what actually stopped the NASDAQ from having a really good day. They're in some lawsuits with the DOJ, if you guys didn't know, maybe some monopoly type of things as far as search results, advertising, software, stuff like that. Tesla down here around 3%. Oh, actually, no, this is probably old. Tesla, I thought Tesla was part of the S&P 500 now. Maybe it was removed. I don't know. But yeah, I guess apparently this, Tesla, Meta, stuff like that. Tesla had good earnings. Meta had horrible earnings a few months ago. It's come back up a lot now, but still, it's not in a good spot. Maybe this news with Trump may give them a boost, right? They're going to put Trump back on there. So I think when Apple falls, that's when you really know everything's hitting the fan. But until we really see, just to kind of put it in a practical sense for you guys. Weekly chart probably would work best. Until we see Apple really break down below this trend line here, which looks like it may happen, but not until March, right? March or maybe even April. When that happens, yeah, I think things are going to be bad, but you can see how the trends, this is the weekly trends, they've gone from more sideways. Now they're starting to creep back down a little bit. You're finally starting to see the 50 come down. Through this whole time, the 50 really hasn't been coming down quite a bit. We're just now starting to see it. Again, it could always break out from here. The NASDAQ could break out. We can go to some really crazy highs here or have some really crazy moves here as far as the market's concerned. But whenever Apple breaks down, that's the concern because, again, we have some support levels here, and there's plenty of them. Don't get me wrong, right? Whole bunch of different levels over here. But once we start breaking down below this, I mean, we could drop down, let's say, from 122 to 116 all the way to 106. Probably actually all the way down to 103, but from that first initial breakdown point, that's 6% for Apple, that's 12% for Apple. That's when people start to panic because at the same time, you're going to see all those other NASDAQ plays just go pew, 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 and just crashing hard. Now, can I get it? Excuse me. What could help you out instead, though, is just for now, put a few Fibonacci levels on there and see what happens. We have a low here, right there. See, has this one been honoring itself that much? Oh, this is the monthly chart, so let's maybe move it over here to the daily chart. How's it been working out since we have the highs over here? Didn't work out there, kind of worked 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 out here temporarily, kind of worked out there, although I don't want to say it was too great. Kind of worked out here, I did work out there. Kind of worked out here, although again, it wasn't too great. Worked out here, worked out here. Didn't work here, but that's just because of breakdown. You saw what happened with a breakdown on the system. Broke out there, had a level of resistance right here. Not my favorite, but I would be using this one a little bit more. Let's see what happens when we hit 122 or so. Again, we may not hit that 122 until it's actually within the breakdown here, right? So it might not be until March. Again, like we just said, we might just go steady Eddie or sideways here, be very boring, and then all of a sudden we just start tanking. But again, back up again over here. That was the first one. We could always go over here to another one if you guys like to go into the negatives as far as the Fibonacci levels are concerned. So, like if I did here, which is lower than that point, I can go high. Did it work out? Hey, it worked out a little bit there, but that's just from that level of support. Maybe we might find support way down here on 116 or so. I would say maybe 110 down here. $99 goes back to that $100 level, kind of matching up with that support from here, 100 to 103. That's where I kind of want to buy the majority of my Apple for this bear market. And I'm just praying it gets down there, right? But there are tons of other levels you could use. Most people would traditionally go with the COVID lows here, right? Nice support broke down there, but it worked out for this first few weeks, probably up to a month of nice support levels. Broke down, unfortunately. That next support happens to be around 116, matching up with this support level right here. So if I zoom in a little bit, because I know the screen isn't the largest. Oh, you guys can't even see me right now. Oh, there's Loki licking himself. There we go. If you guys look at this, this matches up with that. And this was one of those great breakouts that we had last year where we made lots of money together. Or a couple years ago now. Wow. But yeah, that matches up with there. Hey, look at this. This matches up with this. So I would probably stick to using this one as far as my trading style for Apple. Understanding though that if you go over here, you have to think about this more as zones because this one didn't work hardly at all. So again, if you try to buy around here, it kind of was a pain in the butt because you would have had to been looking at something else. Now, something else was probably there to be honest, but it was probably more with earnings and the way the traditional Nasdaq and SPY were at their support levels. That's what triggered this support right here. Not the technicals of Apple, but the technicals of the indexes themselves, which is why you guys should always be paying attention to the SPY, the Nasdaq, and the Dow if possible. Okay. Okay. But again, there could always be a Fibonacci level there, but I mean, at a certain point, you're just looking at, looking in hindsight like that, right? You can see why it's there, you can see it, but again, if you go back in time a little bit, honestly, using that to that, didn't work here, didn't work here, didn't work here, worked there, kind of there, not there, not there, there, kind of, no, kind of, no, kind of, right? So it's like you wouldn't have had much faith in that. In hindsight, sure, but when you look at it, like, would you have, oh, just hit my ring on the table. I would not have had much faith on that one. So, but if you go over here to, when's this low? Let's go back to the weekly chart. This is back over here, January 23rd. Let's just go over to the NASDAQ. Right over here. Wait, did I say January 3rd or January 23rd or what? No, it would have been January 3rd, I guess, but let me just double check. I want to be correct about this. Sometimes the dates change, yeah. January 3rd, okay, yeah. So January 3rd was over here. The NASDAQ was just hitting a solid support level right here. From here to here, came back down, then boom. Okay, that week. It just hit a support level that had just been made a few days before. That's the only support you could really see there. And the fact that the NASDAQ was making higher highs, even though Apple was actually showing some capitulation there, NASDAQ was able to save it up a little bit. And you could even see the last time we ended up breaking down from this, if I can have this back. Where's that little midpoint? There you go. You'll even see that this last time we even had a little bit of a bounce right there. What happened on December 20th? We'll see, because I don't actually know what Apple was doing on December 20th. December 20th. Apple was hitting some type of support, but I guess it would be happening off of the body. Yeah, it was happening off of a body. That's rare. Yeah, it was happening off a body. But yeah, it was hitting a level of support here. Not a big one, but enough to give it a little bit of a pump. And even though, again, it did capitulate here, that's because relative to everything else, Apple is way overvalued. Again, all you got to do is look at long-term. Apple, right there. Go to any other play out there. Google, another big company out there, right? Google's already come down a lot more. We're simply just waiting for Apple to finish everything off. Right, so that's my thought process as far as where I see the rest of the market going. I'm hoping it doesn't end up as bad as I think, but I honestly think I may have an opportunity to buy Apple kind of around 120 bucks to 100 bucks. At worst case scenario, 80, but that's really like the economy, just something really devastating happened. And I don't see devastating happen to the economy. I just see bad, recession, bad. Not 20% unemployment, the world's ending, nobody can afford an iPhone type of stuff. Reason I ask is because even though I see scam ads on sites warning about how bad 2023 is going to be, and the gym normie telling me Bitcoin is going to 9,000-10,000, then I'm going to buy one coin. So you could definitely see Bitcoin going down that low. You just have to. The goal here is to try to guess how bad the economy is going to get. And for me, I put that into perspective as far as like little to no recession where the economy just kind of goes kaput. We're going sideways. We're not seeing huge amounts of unemployment. We're just seeing that people are struggling and people just aren't spending money. They're just not spending money, but they have a job. Easy, okay? Next level is people lose their jobs and they can't spend money. But in order to help the system kind of recuperate and help the economy pick itself back up, then the Federal Reserve is going to blink in this stare down with the markets. And what they're going to do is to start cutting rates before the end of the year. Okay? That's scenario 2. That's Bitcoin going back to maybe possibly $14,000, $15,000. Scenario 3 here is that Bitcoin goes to $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 range, and people lose jobs, more jobs than the second level. the Federal Reserve decides to not cut rates during the year of 2023. The economy continues to get worse, and Bitcoin finds its way kind of down to those levels. Okay, then but Bitcoin bottoms out, kind of goes sideways for a little bit, eventually kind of pumps its way up. Then coming in 2024, the Federal Reserve sees that we've reached the 2% inflation target, and they can start cutting slowly, in order to pick the economy back up, and we start seeing good growth heading into the year 2024 for some massive moves. Okay, now doomsday scenario is like scenario 4, I guess you would say. We have a massive recession, tons and tons of unemployment. People really can't afford anything. Recession kind of stays sticky during this time frame. It really doesn't go away because companies refuse to lower their prices even after they kind of rose them up over the past few years, past year and a half because of recession. When that happens, Federal Reserve also says we're not going to cut rates right away, and they kind of don't do a good job of managing the rate system, and the economy really just goes off of a cliff and it just tanks. Like bad 2008 financial crisis, just bad shit happens. Okay, now, I skipped a whole scenario here, but basically, if things got that so bad, you would probably see the Fed at that point. This is if Bitcoin goes like to $8,000, $7,000 some stuff. You would see the Fed pivot pretty fast because they realize they made a mistake. Excuse me, I don't think that's going to happen. Another scenario is, I don't know if I said it or not because I've been talking for a while. The Fed, oh no, the Fed blinks. Yeah, we already talked about that. Yeah, the Fed blinks. That's scenario 2. So never mind. But yeah, that's how I kind of seeing everything right now. You could definitely see Bitcoin going to $10,000, $11,000, $12,000. Yes, you definitely could. It's not unreasonable at this point. When the economy was doing a lot better, I don't think we would have ever talked about Bitcoin going to $10,000. But because of how the Federal Reserve and I guess you could say the current administration kind of dealt with inflation, it was political reality. They didn't want to say it was inflation because people have a negative perception of inflation, obviously. So when the government and the Federal Reserve both came together and said, hey, this is transitory, it's just going to go away, people believed them and they kept on spending. And what happened? Corporations kept on raising their prices in order to keep the margins high as they were getting charged more by their suppliers and things of that nature, right? So everything kept on going up and up and up because they was like, oh, it's temporary. But as gas prices came up, as Russia decided to go and go after Ukraine, all of a sudden we're like, uh-oh, this really isn't transitory. We fucked up, right? And that's where the scenario that Bitcoin going to 10,000 really became a distinct possibility. Again, it depends on how the economy goes. We don't know how it's going to work out so far, but you can see, at least from the way I'm looking at it right now, Apple really is the the thing to watch over the next few months here. When Apple starts to fall, that's when you got to start getting worried. But Apple has a lot of support levels out here, right? You could even see that after it broke down below this support level over here, it already had a seismic bounce up afterwards. So it really all depends on what you're looking at. But you can see after it was broken, you saw the weakness occur, and now we're going more sideways because of it. That's the whole point of a breakdown. We've broken out of the uptrend. Now you could even call this a downtrend or just a sideways trend here, depending on how you're looking at this, okay? But that's the major concern right now. How much further does this have to go down? We've also had a breakdown here. Again, it bounced right back up, but again, now this uptrend is over. I wouldn't say it was the strongest, but we held it for 2 months before breaking down, right? Right here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, but really after we tapped it right there, you can see how each time we break down again and again and again, we see lots of weakness here, lots and lots of weakness, and it's just not making it back up to those levels where you feel more comfortable about Apple. And of course, why would you? The economy is in the gutter. It'll probably go into the sewer, right? I think we've pretty much been in a recession for the last 13. And now for the bottom recession is another story. I don't think we are. But so the government changed the definition of a recession on everybody. And so people that took economy 101, economy 102, 201, your basic 4 levels of economy in college, or economics in college, not economy in college. Economics, we're basically trained that it's 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. That's the start of a recession, right? They changed the definition, I think in part for political reasons, obviously. But, CNBC went along with it. Fox Business probably didn't go along with it. Bloomberg went along with it. It forced news organizations to change, like, just definitional terms or, risk Trump getting back into office, him getting power, instability, the future of democracy is at risk. So if you're a CNBC host and you're like, well, democracy's at risk. Man, I better do what I can do to help out Joe Biden to make sure that Trump doesn't get back in office. You can reasonably see how people can make that decision, and I kind of understand it. I think it's completely stupid, but I understand it. I can understand the thought process that they took to get there. But now, remember, they changed the definitions on websites and they had to change it back after people had backlash. But if you go to CNBC, they still say it's not a recession right now. They still say it's not a recession right now. Right? A period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. And we've had that. Now, last quarter we had growth. If we have growth this quarter, then we would be out of a recession. And then we would have to take another negative 2 quarters of growth again to be to be in another recession. That's what makes this so interesting. But from my definitions that I understand, we're in a recession, right? So, GDP charts. Yeah, there you go. St. Louis Fed. Oh, quarterly. Ah, there we go. Oh no, gosh, they really make it hard to just find a simple bar chart. GDP. Probably zoom out a little bit. Okay, 10 years. It's not going by quarter though. It's going by year. Why won't they let me look at it quarterly? Why are the quarterlies hidden? GDP by quarter. There we go. Q1 was down, Q2 was down, Q3 was up. Q3 was up. That's important. That's why we had some of the rallies we had last year. Now, we've already seen sales go down. We've seen industrials go down. Is that going to cause a slower growth quarter 3 or quarter 4 of last year, which is good, which takes us out of the recession? Or do we go into some type of, are we out of it and then we have to worry about getting in? Or do we go back to, for the last quarter, do we go down for growth and then we're kind of still in a recession, but we had this really crazy blip? And again, this is some of those COVID concerns, like we're still dealing with some of the effects from COVID, right? So there's a lot to deal with, but we're technically in a recession now. Technically, we are in a recession right now, and there's not much we can do about it for now. We just kind of have to weather the storm, which is mostly about inflation, right? At least Bitcoin's still trying to make some moves, even if it's like going sideways right now. Let's see. Any Usman thoughts on Atom? Let me look at it very fast. Atom Incorporated. I wouldn't touch it. This thing keeps on going down, down, down. It has hit a local level of support, so maybe you could try to buy it around this zone, I suppose. But this would be a longer term hold if I was to look at it. Your next level you would want to be buying in is around 511. I don't know if you were talking about Atom the stock or Atom the crypto, but as far as Atom the crypto, this thing could be good for a swing trade if it manages to break out above that 50-week moving average. Anything on the daily blocking it? No. Oh, yeah. Watch out for the breakdown below the 50. It's the 20-day moving average right here. But until it breaks down from here, you could find another buying opportunity right there for it. Otherwise, you could be looking at it as a breakout right there as well. Nice little pattern. I wouldn't, unless it breaks out, I wouldn't buy it. I'd probably be shorting it right now, honestly. Until it comes back down a little bit more. As far as the 4-hour, though, it's at that level of resistance right now, and might scale out a little bit around 1283, 85, 1288, 1283, I think is the number. And then I'd probably scale a little bit more once we start getting to the 50, and then probably over here to this trend line right there. It's fine. It's fine. But I don't want to see a breakout before I try to buy back into this sucker. Or heading back down to that support level, excuse me. And hey, Coinface, missed your reply about Vegas food. Every time we go to Vegas, 10 times a year, we eat at Emerald's New Orleans, Fish House, and MGM. It's one of our favorites. Oh, the restaurants were Trevi, that one's one at my the hotel my friend's staying at. I think it's the Harris. Harris, I've never been there before, but it seems like it's a fun place. Um, Delmonico Steakhouse. It's kind of a expensive steakhouse. Like the steaks are like $80 or whatever. The Wagyu beef is 200, but I'm not paying for that. I've had it before. It was great, but it wasn't worth $200. No, the one I paid for was $250 in Seattle. And then the last one is going to be Water Grill. I'm looking for some lunch places though, so I will be looking for more food over the next few weeks. I just need to be able to write all this stuff down because I think I'm going to be staying there Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night because my friend's there for a trade show and he gets kind of busy towards the end of the week, so I don't want to stay too long. But I mean, 3 nights in Vegas is kind of long anyway, if you ask me. I'm used to going there for just a little bit of time, hopping back up, and enjoying myself. I get burned out in Vegas fast. And hey, AZTV, gas prices have been going up, and it has been helping out my oil prices. Remember, guys, OPEC wants oil prices below, but between $70 and $80. We're at the $80 range right now, and where we saw the pivot actually happen for oil was around $70. So they're doing their best to keep oil within that range, and they're doing a very good job of it. America doesn't like it, but that's, we don't really have the power to sway Saudi Arabia anymore because, during the campaign, Biden said some very bad stuff about the prince in Saudi Arabia who chopped up a guy. He did some really bad stuff, don't get me wrong. But, when you're a diplomat or a representative of government, you can't be saying stuff that's going to hurt your national security down the road, like the oil prices and stuff, right? So Biden doesn't have the power he once had, or America doesn't have the power it once had to kind of control Saudi Arabia, especially with Russia kind of doing all the crazy stuff as well. But I still think we have some power, especially to get Venezuela oil back online, America pumping oil back online as well. I think Biden still has some levers to pull. I just think he's not going to be as enthusiastic about continuing to withdraw from the petroleum reserves here, right? Especially as we're like creeping up the temperatures rising with Russia at this point in time. I'm short Bitcoin at 23,622 looks strong though. Yeah, what do you call you're really betting that the Nasdaq and the SPY are both going to get rejected. That's what you're betting on right now. Even though Bitcoin's broken out plenty and got smashed back down. And you're probably anticipating at the same time the weekly moving average is crossing over, although that might take a few more weeks. CZ and the Dubai Boys FOMO-induced FOMO rally. What do you call it? It would be interesting if that really did occur. I mean, they keep on finding all this money tied to Sam Bankman-Fried, so it'd be very, very interesting to see if there was something going on with him or just CZ or just, Binance. Like we're seeing some nice moves, and this has brought some excitement back to the crypto markets that really hasn't been there for a while, everybody. It's been pretty boring, to be honest, right? I mean, I talk about it, every day, and I try to give you guys my advice and what's going on and how to make some quick bucks here. But we haven't seen these really seismic moves, and wow, it felt really good just to talk about it, right? And there's been a lot of news on just a whole bunch of varying topics, whether it be, the war in Russia, Tesla earnings, just good stuff and bad stuff, but still just more entertaining news, more interesting news, I would say. Not even entertaining, just interesting news, right? All right. I'm going to call it a night, everybody. It's been a good 2-hour stream with you guys. I'll let you guys see Loki as he's sleeping again, just chilling out. He's going to be mad when I have to move it to go clean the blankets. You know what he does? He's not allowed to sleep on blankets. He has doggy beds. He used to have a doggy bed right there, but you know what he did with it? He ate it and tore it apart. Not ate it, but he tore it apart and shredded it all over the place. So I didn't get him another doggy bed. All he has right now is the doggy bed in the kennel and one in the garage that's not open because I don't know if he's going to eat it again. All right, so I will see you guys later on tomorrow. I'll probably find a good time to stream, but I don't mind streaming a little bit later on night, guys, if you guys like this time. Looks like the viewers are probably a little bit higher tonight, actually, than my normal 6 o'clock time. So maybe I'll move it over to 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, maybe from 7, 9, 8 to 10, something like that. We'll have to see. But I liked it, guys, and I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you guys commenting. The one thing that really sucks is when nobody comments because I don't know what to talk about. When you guys ask me questions and I can bounce off it, give you guys my opinions, I feel like you guys learn a lot more. So I really do appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow. And guys, tomorrow is going to be just another day to watch the market. We're still testing out resistance, so keep an eye on the way. Keep an eye on the market, especially when you guys wake up, okay? And say goodbye to Loki. Loki, I love you.